Hello, just check I turned my mic on. I have. Hello. Been out with boats and it's boiling out there, really hot. Now, I want to make a video for a particular person, but I think it's applicable to every single person, me, you and everybody else. So, before we get into that, I've completed this one. You may have seen it on my other channel, Issue Art, but for those of you who don't go on there, I did a time lapse, very long time lapse of this piece. So there it is, a very quick look at it for you. I'm really happy with that. It's called Flight Mandela because of the little bird in the middle. Okay, right, so bloody hot. Could have made this later, but while things are fresh in my mind, it's worth making a video, and I felt sorry for this person as well. So what it is, let me just put that painting away while I think about it. Yeah, what it is, one of my subscribers said something like, I love your videos, Bri, could you make me a video? And basically it's a longer thing than what I'm going to kind of encapsulate really, but she's missing her granddaughter, and her granddaughter only lives a few miles away, and she's 4, and she said it's destroying me. That's what she said. It's destroying me and keeping me awake at night, and I worry and all the rest of it. And it went on and on, as you can imagine, really. It's a horrible situation because everybody's forced into it. When you're not in control of something, you feel angry, you can feel bitter towards whatever the thing is, whether this is government or whether it came from China, whether it's a man-made thing from a lab, whether it's people eating bats and rats, government, all their spiel, the news, the media, you can sort of direct your anger at all those sort of things. None of that makes it go away. It doesn't make you feel any better either. But it is for now, and I think the for now is an important thing because you can't change it, and it is for now. You can't see your granddaughter for now. I've had 3 friends, my next door neighbours, Viva and Dave, 3 friends who've had to cancel their weddings just recently, and they're going through it as well. That's awful. You've got to phone up people, write to people, do whatever, you know, and say there is no wedding, you know. I did say to Dave, I said, when you do get married, it'll be amazing. It'll be all the better for just waiting this further few weeks or few months. And I think that's for everybody, because this for now is only for now, and it puts the brain in that mode, for now, meaning there is an end. What will be on the other side, I don't know. It's strange times, and I think it will continue to be strange times. They call it the new normal, but we'll just see what is on the other side. But the for now, how do you explain that to a child? I'm not sure you can. I mean, that's probably up to mum and dad to sit quietly and gently and just explain that the for now, this time, this moment in time, you're not at school, you can't go and see Nanny. Nanny loves you, Nanny's missing you. But, you know, for now, we have to do this, you know, because it makes us strong, or something like that, however you want to word it to a child. But for yourself, I mean, obviously there's a number of things that you can do. You can write a letter to that child. You could send a card via Funky Pigeon, Moon Pig, all those sort of companies. Phone the child, obviously. You must be doing most of this anyway. There's Skype and there's FaceTime, and there's lots of apps that you can use and things like that. None of it works really on the level of love. The level of love, which is a kiss and a hug, and touching somebody's hands, stroking somebody's shoulder. You can't do that, but you can do everything but that. And if you do that in bucket loads, you know, think every day, how else can I communicate? What else can I do? Then you may come up with some ideas of your own, and I hope you do. It's a difficult situation, but it is that for now, as I said earlier, you know, and it is only this moment in time when we look back at 2020, you know, we'll say, God, that was a weird time for those either weeks or months that we had to do that. But they will fade away, and we'll just think, well, it's only a few months or a few weeks or whatever it was. I think we're in, 6 weeks now, coming up to 7 weeks. No, there's no lockdown or exit of the lockdown being imposed at the moment, but it'll come, obviously. And I mean, we won't be like this now forever, because it is only for now. It's just one of those situations that is for now. I totally get how you're feeling, and all those that have had to cancel their weddings and all the rest of it, I totally get that as well. It's like a worldwide collective grieving. That's what it is. And when you grieve, you're longing, aren't you? You're longing to step back into the familiar. How many of us now, we had problems back in, you know, pre-COVID, before COVID, but how many now would give up this new normal to step straight back into those shoes? I would. We all would. I'm sure we would. Who wouldn't want to go back to how it was just 2 months ago? When you could go on holiday, when you can make plans, when you can go see your loved ones or your family or your friends, give them a kiss, give them a hug, hold their hands, whatever. Share time with them. Go and have a drink down the pub, or a meal in a cafe, or a walk down the beach. You know, what would we give for that now? But it'll come, because this for now will move on. But it is like a collective grieving. Now, the wrong thing to say, I suppose, is you've got to shake yourself out of this and think more positive and all the rest of it. That's all well and good, and all the rest of it. It sometimes seems absolutely impossible to do that. And particularly if you're starting to feel really low, a low mood, depression, or your anxiety is starting to kick in, or whatever, somebody telling you to shake yourself out of it, you can't do, because what can you do? Where can you shake yourself? There is nowhere to go. We are in this, we're all in this together. We're governed, we're controlled, we've been programmed, and we're told what to do, where to go, when to do it, and that's that. And really, we can't do much about that for now. But it is like a grieving process, and I think we should always try to see the positives. You know, I said to my friend Dave that imagine your wedding. Oh God, when he gets married, won't it be absolutely amazing? Because we had things 2 months ago that we took for granted. You know, walk down the beach, go swimming, have a massage in my case, whatever. You know, go and see friends and loved ones and drive where you want. We took that for granted. We didn't realise we were, but we actually took that for granted. Now that's been taken away from us, it's put us in a down mood, and it is a grieving type scenario, because it's a longing, it's a loss that we feel. Certainly with your grandchild, you're going to feel a loss, definitely. So it is a grieving thing. But the positive spin on all that is that this for now will end, and imagine going down the park with your granddaughter and giving her a great big hug, buying her an ice cream, wiping the ice cream off her face, laughing, chatting, cuddling. Won't that be amazing? It'll be absolutely above amazing. It'll be something out of this world. And keep that positive thought. You know, if you've had to cancel your wedding, you imagine what your wedding's going to be like. Or if you're just longing and missing, grieving for the familiarity of whatever life was for you before COVID, that will all return, but it will return in abundance. It will be absolutely amazing. You'll be able to get in your car, drive down the beach with your little dog, answering to no one. That would be wonderful. That's all positive and that's all great, and it's good to think like that. But you should never really ignore the negative emotions. If you try to suppress them, they start bubbling up and bubbling up and bubbling up. They become all encompassing in your brain. That's all you can do, all you can think of. And it becomes a big worry, and that big worry can drag your mood down. That dragging of the mood down becomes depression. You know, it's a downward spiral. But you can deal with your negative emotions. You can have some time out, and you can have a few tears that you can't have your wedding, or you can't see your grandchild. You know, you can feel a bit pissed off. You can allow yourself to feel a bit down. Allow yourself that longing, that grieving period. But know that it won't last, and have things soon in place. So that grandchild down the park, ice cream on the face, or that wedding, all those people, all the rest of it, have all those good thoughts, have all those positive thoughts as your reserve. And if you can, try to make that your default state, that this is only for now, life will move on, things will change, and things will be amazing. They really will be amazing as well. For me, just to sit in a cafe with a friend of mine and have a meal, have a Slurpee, have a chat and a laugh. I miss that. I really miss that. But it's only for now, as I say. But try not to suppress negative emotions. You have to deal with those negative emotions when they arise. Think, yeah, okay, I'm pissed off. I am going through this grief, and I am this longing. I'm feeling lost. I'm feeling. How are we feeling? We don't even know how we're feeling because we've never experienced this before. So everybody's going through the same thing, this collective grieving, this collective longing, but we've never ever experienced it before, where we long for so much, so many friends, so many family members, so much freedom, so much life, so much of the familiarity of the norm of what I used to do, of what I was, where I went. We're missing so much, and it's new to us, and it's very nearly impossible to deal with, very nearly. However, we're 7 weeks in. We're clearly dealing with it in whatever way. I think a few nice things to look forward to is a good thing. Order a book off Amazon or a CD, DVD, whatever. You can have a weekly takeaway from Just Eat. I did that 3 times, and then the takeaway started closing, and that was about it. There's one that I can get a Chinese delivered here, and they want £6 delivery, and I'm just not going to pay it. It's wrong. You know, some people just profiteer out of any situation, don't they? And I'm not going to play that game. There's been shops selling toilet rolls for 30 quid. On Facebook this morning was a pack of gloves, pack of face masks for £59.99. Prior to COVID, they were £9.99. It's profiteering. It's just disgusting. Don't play that game. I don't play it myself. I don't get into that. But don't allow your mood to become negative by seeing things like that on Facebook. When I saw it, I just looked at it and shrugged my shoulders and scrolled on. It doesn't affect me. I'm not going to go shopping there. I'm not going to pay that price. It's not going to upset me. I don't watch the news. I don't watch, certainly don't watch BBC. I don't listen to the government spiel. I'm not interested in hearing all the terrible facts and figures. That doesn't bother me. I live in my bubble. To a certain degree, I I do most of the things that you're supposed to do with this lockdown to a degree, but I'm sensible. I've got my common sense, and I use my common sense. I might not do it to the letter of the law as such, but it is guidelines, it's common sense, it's using your own brain. But getting out in nature can definitely lift your spirits if you are concerned about your granddaughter and all the rest of it. You could have a little mini party, couldn't you, on Skype or WhatsApp or something like that, where perhaps the mum, your daughter, bakes a cake for the granddaughter. You bake yourself a cake, and then both of you show each other eating the cake. And again, it's not that hug, it's not that kiss, it's not that cuddle, the smell of somebody's hair, the feel of their soft skin, whatever. It's none of that we're longing and grieving over. But it's just connections, communication, keeping things alive, keeping things bubbling for this weird time that is called For Now. And it will move on, I hope that's made some sort of sense, really. But basically, I mean, don't ignore your negative feelings. When we're trying to suppress them, as I say, they bubble up and they bubble up and they bubble up and they can erupt. You know, allow yourself to feel down over it. It's a horrible situation. You are allowed to feel down. But have some things in the background, some things coming up, some good things, some positive things. And the most positive is, how are you going to feel when this lockdown shifts, when you grab that little girl and you hold her tight. Just think of that. Any time you feel down, just think of that. How is that going to feel? I guarantee she'll come running up to you, jump in your arms, you'll squeeze her, and I bet you don't let her go for 5 minutes. So things may change for the better in a wonderful, wonderful way. Instead of meeting your friend, you give them a hug for 4 seconds. When you finally get to meet your friends, you may hug them for 30 seconds. So life will move on, and we'll get by. We will get by. Okay, going to finish my slurping and fag, and then I think I'm going to play BALL. Thank you for listening. Take care, and I'll be back soon. Be well. Ta-ra.